Hi, it's Lucy, and today I'm here to do my January wrap-up. Yes, this video is quite late. What's new? Yeah, that's kind of it for the intro. I read 7 books in January. I still wanted to do this wrap-up because I do every wrap-up, and I've done every wrap-up for almost 5 years on BookTube, and so this will not be an exception. I'm not as prepared, I guess, because I never actually wrote reviews for a lot of these books on Goodreads, and I did kind of forget a little bit about some of these books because it's been a while, so please forgive me for that. I'm doing my best, and that's that on that. If you would like to skip ahead or jump around in this video, I have timestamps for every book that I'm going to be talking about in this video in the description box down below, so feel free to click on them. And along with the timestamps, I have affiliate links for each of the books in case you are interested in buying any of them and would like to support me while doing so. And I also do my wrap-ups in chronological order, which is the order that I finish them in, which is why you will see some jumps. One jump specifically. Anyway, here are the books that I read. The first book that I finished in January was Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I was doing a reread of this to read Children of Virtue and Vengeance. I started this reread in November. I just finished it in January, but I was basically taking a lot of notes and I vlogged/documented my whole reread. And so if you want to hear like more detailed thoughts, or if you would like a refresher before you go into Children of Virtue and Vengeance, you can check out that vlog that I did. I really enjoyed doing it. I really had a good time reading this. I still gave it 5 stars. I gave it 5 stars the first time I read it, and it gets 5 stars the second time. So that was good. I really enjoyed the reread. If you don't know what Children of Blood and Bone is about, it is a YA high fantasy with an all-black cast, and we follow Zele, who basically ends up going on a journey to bring magic back after it's been gone for a long time. And that's like the very, very generalized synopsis. The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skloot. This is a nonfiction book that basically follows the surroundings of the development of the HeLa cell line. Basically, like, scientists and stuff use different variations of cells to do different things, and back in the 50s, 60s, they were having a hard time reproducing cells, but these cells came from a specific woman named Henrietta Lacks, and they cultured these cells, and basically they started reproducing and not dying, which was what they were looking for. So this was like kind of a miracle. And so scientists everywhere started using these cells, and Henrietta never knew about this, her family never knew about this. And so this goes into how that happened, how the family felt afterwards, what the family did afterwards. I found this really fascinating. I really liked learning about Henrietta cells, exactly what was going on with them. I have taken 1 biology class, and it was my freshman year of high school. I did not have to take biology for my college degree, so I don't know a lot. So I found this really fascinating, and I did think it was done in enough layman's terms that really anyone could understand it. I'm glad that this book is out there telling the story. This book does have more of a personal focus, and I've seen other reviews complain about the fact that there isn't as much scientific detail as there is personal details between the author of this book and the members of Henrietta's family. Skloot worked very closely with Henrietta's youngest daughter, Deborah, so this book does focus on that and focuses on Skloot's relationship with Deborah a lot, but I thought that was fascinating. I do like to hear the behind the scenes of how things are made, and so I thought that was fascinating and didn't bother me at all, and I thought it made it more readable. The book also does bring up a conversation of cell ownership, because the way that scientists could get away with this was basically, well, one, because she was black, but also because when you like go to the doctor or anything and they take cells, they do have free reign to do anything they want with that, and they don't have to give you compensation because you give up your cells when it's garbage, kind of. My only problem, I guess, I don't know, I felt really odd. I ended up giving this book 3.5 stars because of this. But basically, the story that's told is one where this family is constantly being taken advantage of. They do not ever receive compensation for the cells, even though they are such a huge part of modern science because of the way cell ownership works. But it just felt really odd because Skloot is a white woman who goes to this black family who isn't as educated. They do need a lot of things explained to them. Most of the family was really not willing to work with her. Only the daughter was, and then the family sort of came around because Deborah wanted her mother's story told. But as far as I know, and as far as I could tell, the family didn't receive any compensation from this book. This book has been made into a movie, and it is the author's like crowning joy, or like crowning achievement. I don't know, it's her most popular book, and I don't believe she has written anything else. And so it just made me feel skeevy. The book does mention, or the author does within the book mention, that supposedly the proceeds are going to, or some of the proceeds are going to like a foundation made in Henrietta's honor, but that's still not actual compensation for the book to the family, and also it seemed like the author decided that that was how she would do it. So it just felt really off to me. So I had to give it 3.5 stars because I enjoyed the reading experience. It just, the fact how the book was made me feel a little uncomfortable. Everybody Sees the Ants by A.S. King. This follows Lucky Linderman, who is being bullied at school, and he's trying to deal with that, as well as at night he has dreams of his grandfather during the Vietnam War, and he's trying to like save his grandfather in those dreams. I gave this 4 stars. I really liked it. I don't know if I enjoyed it. Yeah, I think I enjoyed it. This has trigger warnings for bullying, like very severe bullying, assault, and sexual assault. I'm not sure. I did not realize how severe the bullying was in this story. Not that bullying is ever lighthearted, but it is very, very physical. It read as very harrowing to me. This is my second A.S. King book, and once again, I really appreciated how the family was done in this book. Lucky's parents are kind of just not the greatest. They're not as supportive as one would like, especially his father. And I just liked how that was done because, once again, they're not abusive. They just kind of aren't great. So I like seeing that dealt with in a book. My only problem with it, I guess, is the dreams with his grandfather. It wasn't really a problem. That's more of the fabulous aspect of the story. If you don't know, A.S. King is known for having this like random act of fabulism. That's not a thing, but just like a little bit of the book is not quite real, but we kind of pretend it is. So for example, in the first book that I read by her, As the Passengers, the main character could talk or feel like the passengers on the planes that flew above her house, and she could like send love to them. And in this book, like I mentioned, he has dreams where he's with his grandfather who was in Vietnam. At first you think it's just like a little dream, but then he's able to bring little things back from the dream, and they're like real things, like other people see them. I thought it was interesting. I just didn't quite connect to them. I didn't really see the point of them, but I thought they were well written and I still like them. I just didn't think it fit as well as it could have. Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. Yeah, so I finished my reread of Children of Blood and Bone so I could read this book, and so I read this book. I read this in much less time than Children of Blood and Bone. It's not as much shorter as I thought it was, but it is quite a bit shorter than Children of Virtue and Vengeance, and unfortunately I was quite disappointed by this book. I meant to do a full Goodreads review and then I never did, so that's good. But I did do a full reading vlog as I was reading it, so you can see the points that I didn't understand what was going on, didn't like what was going on. There were a lot of character changes that I wasn't a fan of. Just where the whole story was going, I didn't really love. So I still cared about the characters, which is why I still gave it 3.5 stars. But yeah, it was still very disappointing to me. Nowhere near as good as Children of Blood and Bone, and I'm kind of scared to read the third one when it does come out. But yeah, check out the reading vlog. Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne and translated by Michael Glencross. This follows a man who, at the Reform Club, don't ask me what that is. I think it's just like not a gentleman's club, that means something else, but just a place where gentlemen meet and play cards. I think that's what it is. I've never heard of it. This is a classic, by the way. This man named Phileas Fogg enters a bet where he bets that he can make it around the world in 80 days or less, and it's about him going on that journey. It's very, like I said, this is a classic. You've probably heard of it. It's a movie. It's probably multiple movies, but the movie I'm thinking of has Jackie Chan and I don't know who else in it. This book was fine. I think I gave it 3.5 stars, 3 stars. Yeah, 3 stars. Nothing about it really stood out to me. I don't remember a whole lot about it. Lots of casually racist things because this was written in 1872, and we do come across people of different races, so they are mentioned in not great ways, so be aware of that if you are bothered by that. And just, I don't think the story was all that interesting. For some reason, I think in the movie, they use a hot air balloon that is not in this book. And also, I didn't like the main character that much. He kind of treated his valet not greatly, in my opinion. It was weird. So, yeah, it was fine. I read it. I don't even think I'm glad I read it. I just read it. The Hand on the Wall by Maureen Johnson. This is the 3rd book in the Truly Devious trilogy, the end of the trilogy, and yeah, I can't really give you a synopsis for this book. The series follows a dual timeline where the first timeline is set in the 1930s, where a man named Albert Ellingham is one of the richest men in the world, I think, and he decides to start a school for like exceptional students. and the school is in a remote location in Vermont. And so he starts the school, has students, and then one day his wife and his daughter are kidnapped, and it sets off this whole mystery chain of events. The wife and daughter are never found. The actual kidnapper is never found. The mom's remains are found, but not the daughter's. And then in present day, we follow Stevie Bell, whose thing is like she solves mysteries. She loves mysteries. Her dream is to become like an FBI agent in the future. And so she gets accepted to Ellingham Academy because of this. And when she gets there, she wants to solve the Ellingham kidnapping. And it sets off this whole chain of events. Some stuff happens present day where it seems like things are like repeating. Real interesting. I really like the series. I am giving this 4 stars. I gave all the other books 4 stars. I thought the mystery was 4.5 stars in this book, and then I thought the characters were 3 stars. So this book gets 4 stars. I did not like the character relationships, specifically Stevie, and really I only didn't like one character relationship or 2 characters relationship, Stevie and her love interest. I hated that relationship. I didn't feel like it added anything to the story. I guess it added intrigue, but to me, it did not seem to resolve in a satisfying way, and did not love that. So the mystery part, I really enjoyed. I would recommend the book solely for that. If you are not as annoyed by relationships, you'll probably enjoy it. The last book that I read in January was Atomic Habits by James Clear. This is a self-help book meant to help you make good habits and drop bad habits, basically. The tagline is Tiny Changes, Remarkable Habits, which is why it's called Atomic Habits, because atomic is something like an atom, small. I really like this. I gave it 4 stars. I originally listened to the audiobook, so how I read it in January was I listened to the audiobook, and then I bought myself a copy because I was like, this seems like a book I'm gonna want to refer back to and just like have. So I bought it, which hardly ever happens, where I buy a book, not just because I love it, but because I'm like, oh, I think I want to read this again, or like read parts of it again. So yeah, if you're looking to make new habits, I haven't really implemented any of the changes because I don't think I was ready to when I was listening to the audiobook, but now got some time in my hands. So I think I'm gonna probably read some of the chapters again and try and implement some changes in my life, because that's the whole point of self-help, to change your life. And yeah, it's not weirdly preachy in any way. It's not like one of those kind of self-help books. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. A lot of productivity YouTubers talk about this book, so I wanted to give it a shot, and I'm really glad I did. So those are all the books that I had read in the month of January. If you have any opinions about any of the books that I read, in the comments down below, let me know. And also let me know what you read in January, if you remember, or tell me what you're reading now. Tell me anything. Honestly, I love comments. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time I post a video. Follow my Instagram if you want to see pictures of my cat. I take pictures of my cat in books, and I love him a lot. He's sleeping in the closet right now. So that's it for this video. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.